Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. My name is Lisa Holder, Communications Officer for the City of Sanford, and we have a great guest with us today. His name is Tom Tomerlin. Tom is the Economic Development Director for the City of Sanford. Welcome, Tom.
Good afternoon, Lisa Holder. So glad to be back with you on the second Spotlight on Business, or what we call Buzz on Business here in Sanford, and look forward to sharing a little bit more about economic development.
And and it's such an amazing hot topic, especially in a city such as Sanford when we are growing exponentially, residential and commercial. So Tom, we're talking about Buzz on Business. This is our second episode in this category, and let's talk about something that is brewing in the background that as a partnership with the Sanford Chamber of Commerce that's coming up soon, right?
Yes, and that's such a great way to start our little discussion today, Lisa, is because we're partnering with the Sanford Regional Chamber of Commerce, and they are holding really the first annual State of the City for Sanford. So it's a singular city, Sanford of course, that is going to present their State of the City. It's going to be primarily a staff-driven effort where we kind of talk about all the things that each of the departments within the city have kind of addressed during 2021 and 2020. And so it's a good way to kind of put an end cap, so to speak, on finally maybe seeing a light at the end of the tunnel with what's happened with the pandemic. The neat thing that we have to report about it is that the city of Sanford, despite the global setbacks that have occurred because of the pandemic, a lot of stuff has happened in the city of Sanford. It's such a dynamic place. There's such growth occurring here, and I hope we could talk just a little bit more about it later in the program. But most important, what I'd love to communicate via this podcast is that this State of the City is just going to be a good time. It's scheduled for October 14th. It's a lunch meeting. You can register at the Sanford Chamber of Commerce website, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to try to put a little bit lighthearted spin on what a lot of folks see as local government services. Maybe not the most exciting thing to report, but we're going to put a positive spin on it. And the reason for that is we want people to realize that city and everybody that makes up the city, the elected officials, city management, and down to everybody working in each of those departments, we love the city of Sanford, and we like to have a good time serving the city. And I think when employees have a good time basically serving the city that they care for, it makes everything better, and it is expressed in exceptional customer service. Okay. So we look forward to communicating that.
Yes, and it's specifically, it's our, this is our new year, believe it or not. We should say Happy New Year, because there's a timing for the State of the City, and it's at the end of our fiscal year, which has to do with the end of the city budget and the new approved budget by the City Commission. So that ended on September 30th, our last year's budget, and our new budget started on October 1, which is our fiscal year, October 1 through September 30th. So there's the timing. We didn't just pick this date or month because we thought, wow, it's fall weather, come out. Well, it's not really fall weather in Florida, but fall, and come out to a nice luncheon and network with your fellow business folks.
Well, Lisa, you know what? I think it is getting a little cooler, though. I know we talk about Florida having kind of a perpetual season, but the truth is October's here. It is the beginning. October 1 is the beginning of our new fiscal year, which runs to the end of September. So we're having our State of the City right at the beginning of that new fiscal year.
Right.
And the nice thing is things are beginning to change. The weather is getting a little bit cooler. Mornings are a little bit cooler. You can certainly tell that.
True.
And the Sanford story has only gotten better. And what we really anticipate, and all signs point to this, is that we're going to have an exceptional winter season, right? So the peak season in the state of Florida is obviously the winter months. That's why the proverbial snowbird concept is that people live here in the winter months, and then they might live the other half of the year, the summer months, further up north. But it is also the busy year for special events, and I'm certainly not the special events coordinator. We have a wonderful person, Jennifer Brooks, that runs all the special events for the city of Sanford. But long story short is that's when basically special events really take off, and it has everything to do with the fact that we probably have the best weather in the country during those winter events.
Yes, that's true.
But But those are slated to just be tremendous events, and we really want to have kind of a call out for folks to attend this first annual State of the City for the city of
Right.
Sanford.
It's not just open to businesses. That you can purchase your individual ticket and have a wonderful lunch and enjoy the company of other people in our community, and then at the same time hear the latest and greatest accomplishments from the city of Sanford.
You got it. And I hear the lunch is going to be spectacular.
Yes, and there is, I would say, like you said, it's going to be entertaining. Correct?
That's what we.
You heard
I'm
that.
almost going to guarantee it that we're going to try to have a good time with it. We're going to put a little bit of what we think is humor, and I think having a little bit of humor is just probably the prescription we all need right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Given what every community in this country's gone through.
Exactly. So Tom, share with us what is the latest buzz on business here in the city of Sanford.
Okay. Well, one thing I would love to report to all the listeners is that we have a very exciting project, a ribbon cutting scheduled for October 19th, and that is the San Leon project located at Sanford Avenue and 2nd Street. And this project is pretty spectacular for a couple of reasons. It's the first vertical mixed-use project that we've seen come out of the ground in many years. And when I say vertical mixed-use, what I'm saying is that basically you have the same building, but there's going to be a different kind of use on the ground floor, which will be retail, and then the 2 floors above it are actually going to be residential, rental apartments. So that's what it means to have vertical mixed use. Within the same structure, you have a different use on different levels of the project. And here's the neat thing about it, and why I think it's so noteworthy. Although the project itself is not a very large project in scale, 10 rental units, 10 rental apartments in that building, the neat thing about it is it is vertical mixed use. And I think the exceptional thing that I would love the listeners to realize is that if you look down First Street, that basically, which is the city of Sanford's Main Street, that is exactly the way Old Town America is laid out. Is that we have basically retail ground level. We have a lot of restaurants, which would be considered a specialty form of retail, but we have ground level retail, including food and beverage, and then above that, you either have office or you have people living in homes. So that idea of vertical mixed use is something that's been around for as long as cities and towns have been around, but it's just so nice to see a brand new structure come out of the ground and get built, and a ribbon cutting occurring here soon that goes back and beckons to the way the town was laid out in its very beginning.
Right.
The city of Sanford was founded in 1877, but it was a town even before that. And one of the things that I was hoping to kind of talk just a little bit today about was the idea of the city of Sanford as a gateway city.
Okay. And that sounds really thrilling. Gateway City. Can you explain more?
Yes. I'm glad you asked, Lisa. The reason I want to kind of highlight the city of Sanford as a gateway city is because guess what? The city of Sanford is in essence the state of Florida's first gateway city. And what I mean by that is we went to our history museum, a great facility, by the way. I encourage anybody that's visiting or especially a resident, to go visit our Sanford Historical Museum. It's a real treasure. And what we did is we visited there, Economic Development went and visited the museum, and we found plenty of references as the city of Sanford back in the 1800s and the 19th century being referred to as either the Gate City or the Gateway City for the entire state of Florida. And the reason it got that label, and it got that label almost 150 years ago, is that the city of Sanford, and it remains the very same today, the city of Sanford is the southernmost navigable point on the St. Johns River, which was really the highway into the peninsula of Florida. That's even predating railroads as penetrating the peninsula of Florida. And so that is really why it was truly a gate city to go elsewhere, further south and spread out from the city of Sanford. And so this whole notion of a gateway or a gate city, we apply that word, and we realize that word is used by a lot of other cities. But not a whole lot of other cities can say we've been using it for 150 years, and we have proof of that.
Right.
And one of the things that we can say is that, well, even today, in October, it's October 4th, 2021, is we're talking to you right now. And the Gateway City has become a gateway to just more than Peninsula Florida, as it was 150 years ago. And the way we're thinking about this is that, you know what? The city of Sanford is a gateway to growth. The city of Sanford is a gateway to opportunity. The city of Sanford is a gateway to fun. All right? And really, the city of Sanford is a gateway to everywhere. And what I mean by a gateway to everywhere is the tremendous growth that we're experiencing out at the airport. That growth at the airport, we've just announced the arrival of 2 airlines, Swoop and Flair. Both of them are Canadian-based, and they're flying to several cities within Canada. Many of those flights are happening as much as 5 times a week. So that's exciting, and that's what I mean when I say gateway to everywhere.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that we do have the interstate, we do have Sunrail, we have multimodal transportation. But one of the things that I just love to report is the city of Sanford, and I think this is probably what our residents and listeners know Sanford for probably more than anything, is it's a gateway to fun. And what I mean by that is that, you know, if you look at downtown Sanford, it's truly an entertainment district. And so there's so much to partake in. There's so much to just enjoy. And I think at the first podcast we talked about it just being an authentic experience. If you have an out-of-town guest and you want to take them out somewhere, you're probably going to go to downtown Sanford. Very pleased to report that we have several little restaurants and a high-end bar that are talking to us right now about locating in downtown Sanford. I don't want to kind of reveal the names yet because these things are always kind of, you want to wait until a ribbon cutting is announced. But the good news is that we think we're going to see some new additions to downtown as part of this winter season that we talked about. So that's really exciting.
It sounds like it. What great news, and such a bustle of economic activity here in the city of Sanford, and no greater idea or thing is to hear it from our Economic Development Director, Tom Tomerlin, who is in the know. You're hearing it straight from the source, Tom Tomerlin. And if people have interest, Tom, in economic opportunity in the city of Sanford, they can just reach out to your office, right?
Just reach out to me directly or Pamela Lynch, who works with me. We make up pretty much the economic development department for the city. And the one thing that we really just want to be sure of is economic development is about telling a story about a place, because people listen and understand stories, and it's probably the most powerful way to just communicate points across.
Right.
And so that's why I wanted to kind of start and mention a little bit about this gateway idea as the city of Sanford. And I'll just finish up with the idea of the city of Sanford as being a gateway to opportunity.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is certainly it could be business opportunity, and just like I told you about some of the exciting projects coming our way in downtown, I didn't want to announce any names yet because, you know, we want to make sure that things are for sure on those. But a gateway to opportunity, think about it from the most basic level. The city of Sanford is located within Seminole County, A+ school district, all right? So this is a place where Sanford is a life cycle community as well. And once again, this is back again to the storytelling. It's a life cycle community because you could raise a family here. You could send them to A+ schools, all the way from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. They could graduate from one of those magnet programs, for instance, Crooms Academy, and be Microsoft certified if they're a graduate from that program, located right here in the city of Sanford. They can enjoy one of the magnet programs at Seminole High School, and then they can go directly to Seminole State College, all right? And Seminole State College is within the city of Sanford. It's within our city limits. A wonderful state college. It offers the traditional path that a lot of students take, getting their 2-year degree, AA, before transferring to a 4-year university. But guess what? Seminole State College has a supply of 4-year degree programs in which you really don't even have to leave Seminole County. And then thinking about that life cycle, they could graduate from our college, they could graduate from Seminole State, or maybe they drive over to UCF right down the road. They can land a good job in the city of Sanford. So that's once again continuing this life cycle. Then they can raise their own family. And then we have wonderful facilities as folks age. You know, we have what we're beginning to see is a lot of multifamily development occurring in the city of Sanford. And guess what? Of course, millennials that generation group, the largest population cohort within the nation that we call millennials, they certainly like to live in these multifamily apartments, but guess what? Their parents do too. These what people refer to as the baby boomer population. They're also moving back because they understand the benefits of living in a place where they don't have to worry about the lawn. If the sink has a leak, they call maintenance. They don't have to try to fix that themselves.
Right.
So back again to the city of Sanford being a life cycle community, basically from birth and all the way to the end.
Yes.
There's assets here that people can partake of, and not just that, quality assets, things that once again, the schools are just no better example. As a matter of fact, the terrific schools we have here in the community is one of the things we lead with when we talk to a new company considering moving into the area, is that we know that their workforce is going to be able to send their send their kids to exceptional schools.
Yeah.
So, with that, any other questions, Lisa?
Well, I just think that, like you said, this is an exceptional community, and once upon a time, Sanford is the place to be. And there's so many reasons behind it, so many solid economic development reasons, principles, facts to start your business here in Sanford, move here, raise your children here. And you're hearing it directly from our Economic Development Director, Tom Tomerlin. I think that we covered everything. I mean, this is a Buzz on Business episode. We talked about the state of the city and that we are a true gateway city and a historical gateway city, as you mentioned, with several economic development ties to that title. Any last words, Tom?
Yeah, I will express some last words, and that's going to be thanks to Lisa Holder, because I talked just a moment ago about the importance of being able to tell good stories, and that's really the best way to communicate economic development. And one of the things that the city of Sanford has done, and it's such a credit to its management, is that it's invested in a communications officer. And that communications officer is the voice that you're hearing here of Lisa Holder. And we so appreciate her, because you can't tell a story without a voice. And thanks to a podcast like this, thanks to other things that Lisa Holder puts together, I think we have a great future ahead of us in telling these stories. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Tom. You're too kind. That is wonderful accolades for me. Thank you so much, and appreciate you as well. And really, we do have to tell our own story. We have to market ourselves just like any other business, because we want you to visit Sanford. We would like you to come and live here in Sanford and experience the great quality of life that we offer you. And thank you to our City of Sanford employees who bring you great services each and every day, so your quality of life is top notch.
And I will just conclude with just one simple statement, Lisa. We invite you to go Sanfording, and we're sure you'll be back for more.
There you have it. We invite you to go Sanfording, and we know you're going to be back for more. Thank you for listening to this episode of Buzz on Business. This is Lisa Holder, Communications Officer for the City of Sanford. And you can find more information about the city on our website at sanfordfl.gov. And also, please follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also, if you're a resident of Sanford, please sign up for Nextdoor. We also share information that has to do specifically with our residents on the Nextdoor site. Thank you again for listening to this podcast, and we will be back again. Have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you.